Can the NHL all-time penalty minutes leaders all band together to win a Stanley Cup? Let's find out. We are back with another theme team. Today we are bringing all the dirtiest, I guess you could say, players together to see how much chaos we can spread out onto the ice. Once again, like every other theme team, there's a bunch of players missing. Not every player is in the game, which is kind of tragic, but the more I do this series, the more I see how many players aren't in the game. It's kind of frustrating. No Scott Stevens, for starters. I already knew, but it just reminded me, and it made me a little upset. When you look at who is in the game, this is who you come up with. We got Brandon Shanahan, Keith Tkachuk, Scott Mellanby. Not the best first line of all time. I'm sure they can get the job done. Second line, Shane Corson, Gary Roberts, and Chris Nyland, or Nealon, or some sort of variation of that. Ty Domi, one of the tops. He is the top penalty getter in NHL 22. Absolute stud, absolute legend. We got Joey Coker, or Koser, or once again, some other sort of pronunciation. Bob Probert, Tim Hunter, Rob Ray, and Matthew Barnaby. One thing I am noticing about this team is we don't have a true center. We have 0 centers on this team. Absolutely none. Then when you look at defense, kind of decent. It's pretty much the same as offense. Pretty baseline. We do have Chris Chelios. He is the best player on the team. He's going to have to do a lot to carry this team to the playoffs. Never mind a cup. He's paired up with Ken Daneyko, Ulf Samuelsson playing with Garth Butcher, and then third line, Marty McSorley, who is playing with Brian Marchment. And then goalies, we actually already used this duo in a video, the all-time hits leader. I went with the all-time penalty minute leaders for goalies. So they're back together. We got the short king, Billy Smith, and the absolute brawler. Probably the guy you think of the most when you think of goalie fights. Definitely up there for me, Ron Hextall. I have to explain the rules for the people that are new. We sim 3 seasons to see if we can win a Stanley Cup. Even if we somehow manage to win a cup in year number 1, we must sim the next 2 seasons because we still have to name an overall MVP for the team, which then goes on to the theme team MVP's team at the end of our little season that we're doing. This is season 2, episode 3. Last episode, we named our first goalie MVP, and it could have been either goalies, honestly. Tuukka Rask was the best backup we've ever seen, but the MVP is going to Mr. Martin Brodeur. Also, shout out to Steve Shutt, because you'll probably never be on another theme team, but your performance was absolutely amazing, and you're my MVP in my heart. Bob Brodeur was absolutely amazing. He absolutely deserved it, and we only have one more goalie to work with now. Back in the West, when I said I was going to be in the East today, but I did change it a bit. I went to the other division in the West, and I just took out the Seattle Kraken because they're the newest team and the worst team in the division, so might as well. It's simming time. I don't always predict things, but I try to sometimes, and this prediction for this video is we're never going to make the playoffs. Hopefully that's not true, so it won't be a long video, but we'll see how that goes. I will see you at the end of year number 1. Surprisingly, in the best way possible, we are in the playoffs in year number 1, so my prediction is already dead, but I'm not complaining about that at all. We actually finished second in our division, 2 points ahead of the Knights, 4 ahead of the Oilers and the Kings. Kings didn't make the playoffs by 1 game, and unsurprisingly to me, probably unsurprisingly to you, Chris Chelios is the team's point leader by 11 points with 75. Shanahan closest to him with 64. We didn't have a 30-goal score. We're actually close, and I bet you didn't have this predicted because I didn't. It was actually Shane Corson with 29 goals to lead the team. Keith Tkachuk with 27. Shanahan with 26. Gary Roberts with 21. Everyone else under 20. Penalty minute leader, though, we gotta look at this, right? 132 minutes for Chris Nyland, or Nealon, or however it's pronounced. I do want to see the most penalty minutes in the league. It was Kyle Clifford with 153, so we didn't even top that. And then Borowiecki, that actually checks out. I think Borowiecki is like the top penalty minutes guy in the NHL right now, so pretty sure Borowiecki is not how it's pronounced because one of you told me how to pronounce it, and I forgot. My apologies. I think the K is silent for some reason. Looking at straight defenseman, obviously Chelios is the best. Daneyko, 31 points, 6 goals. Most goals by the defenseman other than Chelios, Ulf Samuelsson with 8. Penalty minutes leader goes to Garth Butcher with 78, McSorley with 72. It's a dirty team, you know, we get down and dirty with it. Billy Smith could have been better, could have been worse. He does have the short curse. The EA sim does not favor short goalies, especially. I feel like we've seen that a lot. I don't know if that's actually proven, but it kind of seems that way. He is a 91 overall goalie. Then Ron Hextall in the backup position, having better stats overall, even though he played way less games, only 16. We are playing our rivals, the Vegas Golden Knights. Can we defeat them? I think we can, which probably means we can't. So 3-2-1 the first 3 games. Win, win, win. Heck yeah. I like it. I like it a lot. Make it a sweep, please. I don't want to get scared. Thank you. 4-0 win. I don't trust any 3-0 leads anymore after how last video ended. I will never trust it again, I don't think. But we sweep the Vegas Golden Knights, which means we play Calgary in the second round. Let's see how they do. 3-2-1. Win, win, loss. There it is. I was going to say, there's no way we sweep the whole playoffs. I don't even know what I'd say at that point. I wouldn't complain at all, but we do take game 4. So we're 1 game away from the conference finals. We do it. We are currently 8-1 in the playoffs. I mean, it's playoff hockey. It's dirty. Nothing about playoff hockey is clean, and that's what our team is built for. We are playing Colorado, though, in the conference finals. This is going to be a hard ask, I think. If we beat Colorado, we're winning the cup. I don't even care. 3-2-1. Bang. Loss, loss, loss. There it is. The dream. It's not dead yet, but it's pretty dang close. I thought we were going to do it for a second. I thought maybe it was going to happen, but we get swept by Colorado. Just kind of fitting. And it's Colorado and Tampa in the finals. Who would ever see that happen? Oh, and Tampa actually won. So I guess it's a little different from history. That kind of sucks. I'm a little sad. I thought we were actually going to do it for a second. 14 points for Chelios to lead. He's got a strong MVP candidate. Building performance going Shanahan 6-4. I almost called him Carson. Corson, maybe it is pronounced Carson. For some reason, Carson with an O. Shane Corson, 5 goals, 5 assists. Second on team for goals. Actually, pretty dang good. Like, way better than I thought he was going to be. I'm assuming we just threw Hextall in after some blowout games in the final series. But he played 2 games, only 25 minutes total. Didn't let in the shot. So we should have just played him the whole playoffs is what I'm learning. Because Billy Smith didn't do good. 2.88 goals against average. 909 save percentage. Very mid. Very mid. I actually have to look at penalty minutes because I want to see. I have to at least see what we're doing. 34 for Garth Butcher. And Chris Nyland, the most forward penalty minutes with 18. And if you look at the entire team, Devon Toews with 26. And by team, I mean league, if I can speak. Devon Toews was the closest to Garth Butcher for most penalty minutes. But he did take home the penalty minute playoff leader. And it's funny because he only played 13 games and Toews played 22, but he still had 8 more penalty minutes than him, so that's kind of funny. Anyway, that's year 1 only. We still have 2 more chances. That might be the most exciting year. Hopefully I'm wrong, but I will see you at the end of year number 2. Year number 2, we squeak into the playoffs by 1 point over the Golden Knights, and we had a crazy run at the end of the year. Win, 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 win. A lot of wins. If we didn't do that, if we didn't go on that run, then we were not going to be in the playoffs. So that's exciting. Chris Chelios, most points again, this time with 65. Forson, not as hot as the first season, but still racking up 24 goals. Pretty up there, 3rd on the team, I think. Yes, sir. Brandon Shanahan breaks through the 30-goal mark, though, with 33. We do have a 30-goal scorer for once, but not many 20-goal scorers. If you look at penalty minutes, Bob Probert is taking the throne, and this time around with 139. Garth Butcher only 85. I think I have to look at the entire league just because it's so funny. Borowiecki, I'm just going to call him Borowiecki because that's how it looks like it's pronounced. I'm sorry, I'm pretty sure it's not how it's pronounced. I'm apologizing now. Mark Borowiecki, 135 penalty minutes compared to Bob Probert, who took the crown in the NHL this time around with 139. And then Rob Ray was 3rd, squeaking up there with 113. Goalies, Billy Smith playing way better this time around, which you'll love to see. 928 save percentage, 2.28 goals against average. Ron Hextall, on the other hand, not so hot, leading 5 wins in 20 games played. A 901 save percentage, 3.27 goals against average. That is rough, but they did their job. We are in the playoffs. That's all that matters. We're playing Colorado, bro, in the first round. We got swept last year. So much for it being exciting. You know what would be exciting, though? If we actually beat Colorado and then moved on and won the whole dang thing. Win, loss, loss. I thought it was going to happen for a second. I mean, it still could happen. Game 4, most important game of the series. We take a fat W, boys. We're not out yet. We are not out yet. We're very much not out yet. 1 win away from beating Colorado, dethroning the IRL champions, and moving on to the second round. 3-2-1. It happens. It actually happens. Let's go. I'm telling you, we're built for playoff hockey, baby. We are built different, if you will. If we stop Colorado, who can stop us? Knowing this sim engine will beat Colorado and lose the next round, which is against St. Louis, so it would be a little respectable, but it's going to hurt me a bit now, though, when we lose. 3-2-1, first 3 games. Win, win, loss. That would have been huge. Back-to-back overtime games. We steal one, but not the other. Game 4 is another L. Makes the series tied. We're doing the reverse of what happened last series, where we were down and came back. Now we're throwing, yep, another L. We are 1 game away from elimination in round 2. and it happens. It's kind of frustrating, actually, because we beat Colorado in 6 games and then lose to St. Louis in 6 games. Chris Chelios looking like the surefire candidate for MVP. He has 12 points to lead the team. Gary Roberts with 10 was close. Corson Dare with 3 goals, 4 assists for 7 points. And then Keith Tkachuk sticking set up. Gary Roberts with a great playoffs as well. Everyone did decent. 2.66 goals against average. 919 save percentage, not terrible, just not it. Not good enough. If you're looking at the entire league, look at Mike Smith's numbers right now. That's the least realistic stat I've ever seen in this game. 940 save percentage, 1.76 goals against average. Looks like the Edmonton Oilers might be winning this one. St. Louis went on to win the whole thing. I don't know if I should feel happy about that or even more sad. Just wanted to look at the playoff tree real quick, and Ottawa beat Tampa Bay in 7 games. That is funny. We must see if we led the entire league in penalty minutes. If we did, when only playing 2 series, that would be funny. And we did, because Chris Nyland, however you say his name, is an absolute goon in the best way possible. 39 penalty minutes in 12 games. 2 more than O'Reilly, who had double the games played. I love it. We have 1 more year. I will see you at the end of year number 3, where hopefully we are back in the playoffs. 3rd and final season. We are back in the playoffs by 1 point again. We are fighting for that spot. 1 point ahead of the Ducks, and then 1 point ahead of the Blackhawks, who took home the final spot in the wild card. We don't get a wild card spot. I'm pretty sure we're playing the Kings, if I understand how this works correctly. And by far his best season yet, Chris Chelios, 94 points, putting the team on the back with all these apples, an absolute apple machine. Also leading in plus minus with 28. Goals goes to Brendan Shanahan again. I'm like, Shane Corson is like, he's not going to get MVP, but he is like the people's MVP. He's playing way better than I ever could have predicted. I'm liking what I'm seeing from him. Nyland is in 3rd with 135. Robert behind him with 119. He is our goon MVP, which doesn't mean anything, but he is the biggest goon in the bunch of goons. Just a title he should wear proudly. Smith and Ron Hextall, similar stats. Smith playing a couple more games, 71 to Hextall's 17. Finishing with a 0.1 better goals against average and a 0.4 better save percentage. Getting the better stats overall. He also faced a lot of shots, so he definitely could have did better. We're in the playoffs, and that's what matters. We have 1 more chance at the Stanley Cup. Who are we playing in round 1? I'm pretty sure it's LA. I understand this correctly, which I do, and it is, in fact, the LA Kings. Can we beat LA? We did at the end of the season, but this is a series. 7 games. We must take 4 of them. A 3-2-1, loss, win, win. Back-to-back 2-1 wins after losing 2-0. Very low-scoring games. Which means Billy Smith must be standing on his head. We need to support him with some dubs. We get a 7-1 dub. We did support him. 7 goals, and he only let in 1. I'm liking what I'm seeing from the boys, but we're not out of the woods yet. Taking a 5-2 loss in the game number 5. Got to close out one of these next 2 games. Still have 2 more chances to close out the Kings. 3-2-1. We still have 1 more chance to close out the Kings. Not like this, man. Not like this. I'm debating on fancy simming it, but I don't want to mess with perfection. We got this. 3, 2, 1, bang. We got this. No worries here. 4-3 win. We squeak by the LA Kings. We're up 3-1. It was almost a choke of the century. And now we must play Winnipeg, which we do at least once every video. And they usually, it's like a 50-50 split, honestly. I want that cup. I want this team to get a cup. They deserved it. If there's ever been a team that's deserved it more, it's been this one. They've been fighting for it. 3-2-1. Win, loss, loss. That one hurts. But game 4 is always the most important game in the series. And we take the fat L, so we're 1 game away from losing. I'm just going to get it over with. And there it is, 4-2 loss to Winnipeg. And while we're here, we might as well see who wins the cup. And it'll probably be Colorado. And it was Colorado. How did I know? How did I guess? I mean, Chris Chelios has to be MVP, right? Look at his numbers. He was top of the team every single season for playoffs and for regular season. 4 goals for Mr. Corson. Tied with Brendan Shanahan for most on the team. He did not play his best, sadly. He looked like he was playing amazing in the first series. Like, I should have looked at his numbers then. That means we must answer the question, can the all-time penalty minutes leaders win a Stanley Cup? No, they cannot. They can fight for it. They made the playoffs every year. They made it to the conference finals in year number 1, but they did not squeeze it out. Let me know who you think MVP should be at the end of the day. You guys decide. I mean, Chris Chelios looking pretty good, I would say. I'd say he probably deserves it the most. It's not even really close. Maybe Brendan Shanahan, but that is it for me today. Thank you everybody so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I will catch you in the next one. Peace out.